Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Calyx. I'm your host, Becca Scott. And on this Call of Cthulhu live play role-playing show, I have some amazing, amazing guests this evening, and I'm very excited for tonight's scenario, which is a published scenario in the Mansions of Madness book, published by Chaosium, who is our sponsor this evening. If you want to use our promo code, if you are a keeper of arcane lore, maybe you want to try your hand at it, maybe just like reading scenarios in anticipation of someday running them, then please use our code Calyx2021 when you go to chaosium.com so that they know that we sent you, and you also get 10% off at checkout, which is pretty sweet, you know? Oh, and the great thing about chaosium.com is you're going to get a PDF version of the scenario that you can always access at any time. I love having the hard copy to read it, and then I love having the soft copy, I suppose, to be able to send the amazing graphics to my players. So, big fan of Chaosium and all that they do. And a special shout out to Chris Lockie, who wrote this scenario, along with the help of Lynn that writes for everything. Thank you, Lynn. Okay. And that's it. Without further ado, I'm going to bring in the first of our players for this evening. We have an incredible streamer, role player. You've seen them on Saving Throw, on Clear Skies, on Q Times, and they're just a lovely ball of light and energy. Please welcome Aki.
Hi, everybody. I'm Aki, and I'm really excited. This is my first time playing Call of Cthulhu, so thank you so much for inviting me to play.
It is my great pleasure to have you here. How do you feel about horror genre things in general?
So it's really interesting because I actually don't like watching horror films, but I love haunted houses and I like playing games where I get to be scared. It's something very different about like setting yourself up for it and knowing exactly what's going to happen and having to deal with jump scares you have no control over.
Totally fair. I promise no jump scares. Ha! Except for that one. Gotcha. Didn't work. I'll show myself out.
You're good. But no, I actually, it's a very interesting thing because I don't watch a lot of horror, but I love doing stuff like this. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's something different when it's immersive. And you know you're in it. So the suspension of disbelief is up to you to control internally.
For
and it's never
sure.
Scary. I mean, movies these days can't be trusted. The graphics, get out of here.
It's just so real.
So please, if you would tell us just a little bit about Dusty Carmichael.
Of course. I am playing Dusty Carmichael today, pronouns they, them. And Dusty Carmichael is a forensics specialist who works on the force helping to solve crimes through science. They enjoy looking at bodies, crime scenes, you know, making the connections, analyzing scientific data to help solve mysteries. That's kind of their whole idea. They've seen some wild stuff out on the in the field, but they don't let it get to them too badly.
Okay, can handle it. Got a tough stomach.
For sure.
For whatever Cthulhian horrors might await them in tonight's adventure.
I have no idea what you could possibly mean.
Nothing. It's going to be just a reunion with an old friend and nothing more.
Of course.
All right, let's bring in another friend playing with us this evening. They are one half of the Double Clicks, which is an amazing band. If you haven't checked them out, you need to right now. They make music about nerd and queer stuff like cats, dinosaurs, nerdy stuff, anxiety, depression, queer identity, and love. And this is Laser Melina Weber. Come on in here. Get yourself on in here like you have control over that.
I'm here? Yes, I unmuted myself. I did it. I'm so good at the internet. Hi, Becca. Thanks for having me.
Hold on. Are you some sort of pilot mechanic?
Oh, me? Maybe I am. I don't know. I'm hanging out in the yeah, they definitely let me drive it. They left definite. Yeah, for sure.
Sounds like they don't let you drive it.
I'm a little insulted that you would say that to me, but I'm used to that feeling, so it's fine.
Fair enough. And we know that you have a musical. You, Laser, not you, Herbie Sherbert, who we'll get to in a moment. You, Laser, have a musical you're working on.
Yeah, absolutely. we're working on a musical called Teaching a Robot to Love. It's really good. Very excited. It'll be coming out later this year. I keep doing that. That's like a really fun new catchphrase I do, where I put my name into sentences where it doesn't belong. It'll be coming out later this year. Hey, check me out.
I completely relate because Becca's. I sometimes do things like that too.
Yeah, why not? Just let's get the brand going.
I can't wait.
Excited to be here. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited you're here, and I'm excited Herbie's here. So tell us a little bit more about Herbie's background.
Yeah, Herbie. So Herbie went to the university because he loves to ask questions, and then he realized there's a lot of learning that happens involving answers to those questions from books, reading, writing. And I'm not going to say that I'm bad at it. I'm bad at it because it's hard. So he stopped doing it. Then he became a mechanic. And he loves the airships. And the thing about airships is it's impossible to know how they actually work. Nobody really knows why they fly. And a lot of times they'll just blow up in your face. But when they do work, you're in space, you know? It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So
that's poetry.
Yeah.
What about Herbie's Basset Hound Vanilla?
Oh, Vanilla Sherbert? Well, so Herbie's been working on creating his own dirigible since he was fired. And he can't really quite get enough of the resources to make a full-size dirigible. So Vanilla's actually been the test pilot recently. Vanilla loves to fly. He loves just going up, coming back down. Usually just a couple.
If I had Basset Hound ears, I would be in the air constantly.
Yeah.
Just flapping around.
Flapping around upper New York, just living that life, you know?
Yeah, you got to live that life. All right.
Live it.
Let's bring in our final guest for this evening. She has been on the show before. She is a streamer, also does some amazing live music on her channel. You got to check it out. Dear friend, Jessa Day.
Hello, everyone.
Hi. Hey. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry that this is my mistake that I did not update that you are not playing Tulip Beale this evening. So sorry to our wonderful JB Jara who, but Tulip Beale was a character you portrayed in a previous episode, Mr. Corbett, coincidentally in this same book. But this evening you are someone different, yes?
Yes. Tonight I will be playing Daisy Delaney, and she is a parapsychologist. She entertains the idea that there are otherworldly things and paranormal. She likes to mostly record and measure them. She spends a lot of time in the library. However, she, at 14, was a student at Westchester University, and she excelled in physics and has a degree in physics and got that degree when she was very young. She's now 22, and she's often consulted for weird phenomena and likes to go and try to record them and gather evidence about them.
Awesome. So we have a parapsychologist, a ghost hunter, really.
Essentially.
We have a forensic scientist used to being on the ground at a crime scene, collecting the evidence for the force. And we have a dirigible mechanic. And
I applied to be a pilot. So, and a lot of what it matters is showing up. So,
yeah. And a dirigible mechanic who's really great at showing up and will be a pilot someday.
Exactly.
Now, this is not something we've previously discussed, so pardon me for putting you on the spot. Do these characters know each other before? Did they meet at the university, perhaps Miskatonic, where Dr. Kenneth Connolly was a professor for many years?
Mm-hmm. I believe that Daisy and I may have been classmates in a class or two before I bounced. Because I kind of evolved beyond the need for the classroom. You know what I mean?
Same with Dusty. Dusty was also at university at Westchester.
Yeah.
Yes. I knew them when I was very, very young. They were much older than me, but I knew them when I was young.
Yeah, I graduated quite a bit before you. I mean, I'm older than you. We were at school together, and now I come back to do the occasional guest lecture spot at the university, which is probably how I know uh, the dropout. Uh,
What's
yeah.
up?
So
Old Herbie Sherb.
Herbie. I mean, I applaud him for knowing what he wants and
Yeah.
and going for it and not wasting anybody's time. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So we'll determine whether or not you've contacted one another and whether you'll be traveling together in the ensuing accommodations that have been necessitated by a telegram. Each of you received the same telegram from your former cohort or professor, depending on how you may have known Dr. Kenneth Connolly, who was, of course, a physics professor at the Miskatonic University. And this professor had an estate in upstate New York. His family, he inherited this estate. And at some point, he was a tenured professor, but he took his retirement early in order to sort of escape civilization and work on, if anyone would ask, he'd just say, a big project, huge, something beyond imagination. And he wouldn't say much more about it to anyone who asked. But you know that he's been at this property and haven't heard much from him or the community in general when anyone asks. I don't know, last I heard he was at that manor near Hampton, New York. Until each of you received this telegram. You know you must have been in his Rolodex, and you had expressed a particular interest when you did know him in his work in some way, and that is why you were invited to his home in this telegram, which I believe we can show to our viewers if we haven't yet. Oh, I guess I should be looking. Yes, you can see it. Let me read it to you now. I'll put it in our little chat here. In fact, how about we have, oh, Jessa, what's your name? Daisy, will you read us this telegram that I'm just putting in our chat here?
March 30th, 1925. I have done it. Stop. I have made it the greatest scientific discovery of all time. Stop. I need your help. Please come Friday, April 3rd, 5 p.m. to Wellington Manor, Hampton, New York. 12852. Stop. It is of the utmost importance. Stop. Kenneth Connolly.
Perfect. All right. Do you think you would reach out to one of the other two players here tonight in order to travel, or do you think you would meet them at the estate?
If
Or
we
by
all
month,
got the
which means
telegram-
would you travel?
Oh. By all means, right away, to the manor. If everybody got the same telegram, we are sure to see each other again.
What about Dusty, who is on the job of a particularly gruesome murder after coming home and receiving this telegram along with other mail? What goes through their mind?
I think as they're kind of going through their mail and reading through stuff, they fall on the telegram and they kind of turn it over and sort of look at it and go, not your usual style, Professor. And then like they go to pick up their phone and get a wire to the train station so they can reserve a ticket so that they can make their way to the manor. I don't think it occurs to them that anybody else would have gotten this this telegram. So their only thought is like, well, if he's calling for me, I might as well go and see what's going on. And of course, it's science, so I'm interested.
Absolutely. Mention of a discovery is very appealing to someone with such a innate knowledge and fascination with science, I imagine. And then
Show.
Herbie Sherbert, who I just
Yeah.
saw your residence is the sky.
Yeah, the sky is my home.
As
and my-
you're
yeah.
looking up at the clouds, perhaps underneath a tree, just imagining the figures within them, you get a shout from your boss, Herbie, Get up off the ground. We got planes to fix here.
Yes, of course. Absolutely. Yes. Who
Listen.
could know?
You want me to write you a recommendation to pilot school? I'm going to need you to quit daydreaming in the middle of a working day.
Listen, I have come here every day this week that I felt like it, and I will work every hour that I can manage. But I can't stop dreaming of the sky. That's where my home is.
Yeah, I guess I understand that. I always wanted to see a vista in Italy, you know?
And where is Italy but in our hearts?
In our hearts, yeah. Quit asking me questions. Look, you put some oil in that.
Absolutely.
And after you come home after a long greasy day, perhaps into a boarding house that you share with some other of the mechanics at the dirigible yard, you find this same telegram from an old professor, that one of the few that tried to help you stay on at the university after your grades didn't quite keep you there.
Yeah. I'm so exciting. Vanilla, we're taking a trip. And we just immediately, I grab my my experiments, my latest, I don't really call them experiments. I call them endeavors. Word that I saw written down and don't know how to say out loud. And right now I'm experimenting with different kinds of air to make dirigibles out of. Because what is air if not the sky? And so I think by the time that Dusty gets on the train, I'm already there with another kind of balloon just kind of out the window of the train, attached to Herbie attached to Vanilla, trying to see if I can get him to fly out the window while we're just taking the train up to New York.
Is there a basket attached to this balloon out the window of the train car?
Oh, absolutely. It's kind of like a bad kite.
That your basset hound Vanilla is in. Did you just bring the one basset hound, or did you bring Vanilla's sister as well, or sibling?
Clementine? No, she stays home with my sister.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right. So you're riding the train as well, and Daisy, you have had a long night, all night long, of exercising what a family thought to be a ghost outside of Boston. It turns out it was just creaky pipes again.
It's always those creaky pipes. Another one for the books. Well, even though I had
in your journal about the experience.
Oh, it was a simple solution. They had not changed the pipes in their home for about 15 years, and they hadn't realized that they were lead. Lots of creaky pipes come from lead and poison. So I told them they needed to hire a plumber.
And as you received the telegram, let's flash back to a moment when you, as a teenager, were in the office of Dr. Connolly. Please, Daisy, I just want to make sure that you're getting along well here at the university. I know it's probably very difficult to be with all these young adults when you, of course, are much younger.
Well, they don't bother me, sir. I think that really I'm just focusing on my studies, and I've made a few friends. There's Herbie, and of course Dusty, who graduated a few years back. But they come and they do their lectures, and I enjoy them very much. I'm getting along fine, sir. Thank you.
Daisy, that's not the real reason that I've asked you here. This paper that you wrote about parallel dimensions.
Oh, yes. I find them quite extraordinary.
I've never had a student that was able to see things beyond what was put in front of them in this way. How could someone so young have such insight into the possibilities of what could be?
Just based on my research, sir, and from things I've seen, very strange things. I do believe that parallel worlds exist. I haven't seen them yet, but I will keep searching until I find proof.
Well, this may seem unorthodox, but wouldn't mind. I'm going to be presenting a talk at a conference of physics minds later this month, and I'd wonder if you'd read over it.
I'd love to do that, sir.
All right, as we flash to the present, you two are sitting on the train car as it pulls up to the station in Hampton, New York, where you find all three of you stepping off the train. And as you look out on the open platform, it is, it's brisk, it's September, but not terribly cold. A light sweater will do fine. And you see the entire town laid out ahead of you from a center main road. And there's not much to it. There's a general store and some roads to some houses nearby. And as you see each other on the platform, you have a small reunion of sorts.
Daisy!
Oh, hello, Herbie. How are you?
Oh, so good to see you. Oh, hello. I'm Mix Dusty.
Hi.
Hello.
Wow. I guess I shouldn't be entirely surprised to see the two of you here, but I guess I didn't really put together that he would have invited. Well, hi. It is very good to see both of you looking well.
Did you both get the same telegram?
Yeah, Kenny's project must have finally come to light.
Yes, I'm very much interested in seeing what he has discovered.
Oh, so exciting. I hope it's something spinny. I love it when stuff.
Well,
Cogs and wheels. Always a Herbie thing.
As you look out on the town, in addition to this general store, you see a post office and you see a taxi. A single taxi, and a man stands leaning against it in a cabbie hat. Is there anything anyone would like to perhaps check out in the town before heading on to the address that you have? I assume that the three of you may want to share a cab, given that you're headed to the same location.
Seems right. I guess if we're here, we've all been asked, and there's this telegram that's mentioning a super big scientific discovery. I kind of guess I just want to look around to see if seems to be anybody else who might have arrived that maybe we don't recognize, or just kind of get a lay of the land of who is here and who appears to perhaps be headed in the same direction as us.
Yeah, Vanilla already took off, so we should probably go figure out where he went.
All right, Vanilla went down the dusty road and off into the trees, probably to relieve themselves. And as the three of you look around, this seems to be just a very rural train station. There doesn't seem to be much, obviously, with only these few sparse buildings and not many. There was one person that got off of the train and they headed directly into the general store. You know that this is a station that goes between New York City and Albany, and Hampton is one of the smaller stops along the way. You're welcome to peek your head into the general store if you like.
They may have a different brand of penny candy. I'm collecting.
I don't know about you two, but I'm craving an egg sandwich, and I feel like this general store might have some.
Excellent. Let's go.
Snack might not be the worst idea.
Well, sight for sore eyes. Look at these three. Welcome on in. Clem's the name. Please let me know if you have any questions. And you see an affable and aged man with white hair behind the counter. He seems very welcoming, and he does have a large array of penny candies just on a rotating stand just in front of the cashier desk.
Excellent. I will be touching every one of them.
Oh, now, I see you're a connoisseur. Let me tell you, that one in particular, the bubblegum bruise, that one, that'll last for days.
I will take exactly one, sir.
That's all you'll need, honestly, until you come back by. You staying anywhere close?
We're actually on our way to the manor.
Wellington Manor?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Nice place. Well, you must know the good doctor.
Yeah, do you know Kenny?
Well, he comes in here every so often for provisions, along with those that have been staying with him.
Those that have been staying with him?
Yeah. Honestly, a couple of lovebirds they were when they arrived. Well, 6 months ago? A woman, maybe a little younger than him. Blonde hair. A beautiful woman. What was her name? Elizabeth? They haven't been in quite some time, though. Elizabeth's brother, I believe. He did come in. I want to say David.
David and Elizabeth.
Yeah,
Those
they've been
names ring.
staying.
Either of you two know of David and Elizabeth?
Right, I don't.
I've met a David, but he owns a mechanic shop down in Delaware. Do you think that's relevant?
You got me, kiddo.
Mr. Clementine, I do have a question for you. Do you have any egg sandwiches?
Well, if you wait, I could whip something up for you. I've been waiting for someone. Oh, hold on. Let me get something together. He goes
While
in the
you're
back.
doing that, I do have a question about the couple that went to visit the manor. Did they perhaps stop by your store on their way out?
Well, I haven't seen him in quite some weeks, as I said, but, well, David, he did, he's a funny guy. He, always gives me a chuckle. Yeah, he came in, just a few days back. Seemed to be gathering provisions for quite a few people.
Curious. Thank you.
Now, if you're looking for the manor, it's just about a 45-minute drive from town. You're going to go just north up the road, 8 miles, and then there's a dirt road on your right. And that'll take you right to the manor house.
Thanks for the help. While you're making her an egg sandwich, do you happen to have some cold cuts?
Oh, well, yeah, if you look in the case back there, we've definitely got all manner of cold cuts. Some of them I hunted myself, if you look at just wrapped in the butcher paper there.
Great.
I found a fowl of some kind. I don't even know what type of bird it was rightly, but I plucked the feathers and you'll find it in there.
You don't know the kind of bird? That's amazing. You know, I'm fascinated with the sky.
Tell me more about that.
One time I looked into the sky and I swear it was different than I've ever seen.
Many hours pass as Herbie continues to go on about things that he once saw in the sky, and the egg sandwich is prepared for you, a daisy.
Thank you, Mr. Clementine. I'll enjoy this shortly.
Indeed, your cold cuts. He rings each of you up for the penny candy, of course, the bubble gum, the cold cuts, and the sandwich. And you're welcome to ask anything else or head on your way.
If anybody comes through needing to, actually, never mind. It's nothing important. Sorry.
Mr. Clementine, one more question. Particularly, what kind of provisions did those that visited the manor purchase, specifically?
Oh, I would say, the breads, the meats, all nearly cleared me out, cleaning up all kinds of stuff. You know, I did forget to mention, yes, the young woman and the older gentleman that were passed through here earlier today, they were going to the same location.
That's a lot of people. Do you know how many people total are staying at the manor?
No, I couldn't tell you. I just told you who passed through here. Yeah, a handful. Handful would be a safe bet. Counting was never my thing, if you know what I mean. Tips his hat, too.
Know exactly what you mean. I know exactly.
Well, I appreciate it, Mr. Clementine. Thank you so much.
Pleasure's all mine. Nice to see such friendly faces up here in Hampton.
The pleasure is all ours. Be safe.
All right. The cab driver is still standing as you exit the general store. You're more than welcome to hire him for a ride.
Seems good. Dusty opens the front door for Daisy
Thank you, Dusty.
and then hops into the back seat.
I will get in also and pick up Vanilla and set Vanilla on Dusty's lap.
Can't remember you remembered that I get car sick if I sit in the back, so I appreciate that.
You're welcome, but why do I have a dog in my lap? What is...
If you don't like dogs, that's fine.
I love dogs. What? Oh, yeah, okay, fine. You can hang out. Good dog.
Yeah, the dog generously licks your face in a way that is a bit much, and it just continues as you ride in this cab. The cabbie doesn't talk much. He just he tells you the amount when you hop in and point the direction, give him the instructions that Clem had given to you, $5. And as you ride along, you go deeper and deeper into the woods of Washington County. And as you exit the main road onto this narrow dirt path, it takes you into an opening, and you see a gorgeous, stately manse ahead of you with Georgian-style structure and columns, and beautifully crafted, multi-stories. But it looks like it's in a bit of disrepair, as if it hasn't been kept up well. The groundskeeper has been neglecting their duty over the past several decades. And as you enter the drive, you see a pickup truck and 3 other cars outside.
Clem wasn't kidding. Quite the
Friends?
There seems to be a lot of people here.
Welcome on in. It's a pleasure to see you here. There is a large man with a shaved head, dressed in work clothes. He introduces himself as William Fetter. I am the groundskeeper of this place. Please enjoy your stay. Let me show you right up to the rooms you'll be staying in. And he whisks you up the stairs, up a second flight. You're on the 3rd floor now, and he shows you to 3 separate bedrooms. As you notice, this house may not be well kept, and perhaps things have not been polished to the maximal quality, but it is clean and tidy. And the bedrooms that you're shown into are ornate, if a little frayed on the edges of the various beds. And you're invited to put your stuff down. Once everybody's ready, please, if you would come back down to the drawing room to meet our other guests. The doctor has been so excited about unveiling his discovery. It's really all he can talk about. So I'm excited for you to see him.
Well, excellent.
Thank you very much.
Yes, we're absolutely fascinated and can't wait to see it. It's been a long travel day for us. So a little bit of rest would be nice before the reveal.
Herbie has a large canvas bag about the size of 2 people. And just drops that on the floor. Somehow there's now oil all over the floor. And then we'll go back outside to just kind of circle the house before the event.
Excellent. As you take Vanilla out on the grounds with you, I imagine, you see a large circle. It's not paved, but it is well flattened in the dust outside where all the cars are parked, the 4 cars. And then you see an old stable off to your right as you exit. Behind the house, there's a fire pit that looks as if there is some charred remains of a previous fire as you walk past. And not much else on the grounds. It seems to be completely surrounded in lush landscape. I think we have a map of the exterior as well.
Ooh.
We like maps.
Here, let me pop it into chat. Oh, or it's on the stream there for you too. Yes, this time I'll send you the thing from the scenario we're doing tonight.
Nice.
Okay, cool. Wellington Manor.
All right.
Cool.
I think everyone assumes that you're walking that big basset hound of yours, Herbie, as the other two. Are you doing anything upstairs, or do you go down to the drawing room as he invited you to do?
Just wanted to peep into the library really quick and see what history books that Dr. Connolly has.
Excellent. You go back down 2 sets of stairs, and as you're standing in the foyer, there is a room with a door just barely cracked open, and you see books beyond it. As you push the door open and peek inside, you see, just as you expected in a house of this size, floor to ceiling, walls and walls of books, and tables in the center covered in books as well, and notes, and all manner of other things. You see gadgets and cables and wires and mechanical items and gears. And as you continue to look on the lower half of the room, scattered all over the floor, just boxes and boxes of odds and ends, like a tinkerer's workshop.
Oh, he really has been working. I'd like to explore through the boxes and see if there's anything odd.
Just as you do, William, the groundskeeper, comes up behind you and he closes the door. He says, miss, there'll be time for that when the doctor is ready to unveil his inventions. But of course, this has become his workroom for creating his inspired inventions.
I can see that. Well, as long as I get to come back later.
Can I do a spot check?
Technically, he's closing the door for now, and he's watching you very closely and leading you by the arm politely, not forcing you by any means, but taking your arm and leading you to the drawing room.
Daisy's like arching her back as he's closing the door, just trying to see like every single detail that she can before it's completely shut.
Okay, later then.
Well, I can tell that you definitely have a mind for science. It makes perfect sense why the doctor would want you here so badly.
Oh, yes, quite. I'm a major in physics.
As he brings you to the door of the drawing room, what is Dusty doing?
I think Dusty walks into their room, places their, probably very modest looking little suitcase down at the foot of their bed and, loosens their tie, takes it off, unbuttons a button, rolls up their sleeves, kind of, gets into a slightly more relaxed state of being. And then I think they want to kind of start looking around the room and seeing what might possibly be in there, and maybe kind of poking their head up and down the hallway, like snooping a bit, I guess, to see what else they might find, like who else might be in rooms still who hasn't gone down. Like, just they're being a snoop. They're doing what cops do, snooping where they don't belong. So
sure, give me a roll for spot hidden.
Cool.
Actually, sorry, make that a stealth roll.
Okay. Cool. This should be fun.
Rolling dice, it's happening.
I got a 45.
All right. And what is your skill in stealth?
It's 20. So I don't think I do very well.
You take a look around the rooms on the 3rd floor. From what you can see, the room that you have been put in has a blue bedspread and a canopy bed with a little bit tattered blue curtains hanging over it and a blue wallpaper. It seems to be decked out in just one color. And there's a desk, a writing desk with a chair. As you open and close the drawers, there's nothing inside. And as you step out into the hallway and the wood floor creaks, the door across from you opens, and a slight woman with red hair, she looks about your age. She wears small glasses, and Pardon me. Diana Carlson.
Dusty Carmichael. Very nice to meet you, Miss Diana.
It's a pleasure to meet you as well. Another one of the professor's associates?
Yes, a former student. I cannot make any assumptions as to your connection with the professor, but I assume you know each other through some...
Physics, of course.
Oh.
I was a student as well, but well, it has been some years on. I've been teaching at a local high school near Boston for many years.
Oh, I'm near Boston. Boston
Oh.
proper, actually. Yes, it's interesting. I didn't realize there were former students of him so nearby. But it is, again, lovely to meet you. I suppose you're headed down?
Yes, I have absolutely no idea why we're here. Do you? And she peers deeply into your eyes and lowers her spectacles slightly.
Not a clue, just some scientific discovery he apparently has unraveled.
If you would, please give me a psychology roll.
Sure. Let's
Sorry,
see,
that is
what's
so
my
loud.
psychology?
Everything's alphabetical on your sheet, so it's in the
Right.
third column.
Yep. This is going to be a difficult role for me. Yep. I rolled a 59, so nope.
Right, you're technically rolling against her skill. Let me just quickly
Yeah.
check. Gosh, everything's so loud, so close to my microphone. Where'd she go?
Well, at least you know it's doing its job.
I like
Yeah.
the sound of rolling dice. I think we
Oh,
all could
good.
agree.
Wait a minute. Is that Daisy or is that Jessa? Or there's just one and the same at this point?
Daisy's flipped universes into this Twitch stream. It's very confusing.
Nuts. She looks deep into your eyes, and this is actually a contested role, and she can't tell whether or not you do know anything else. But she is slightly suspicious for some reason. Anyway, as you head down, and Herbie has come back inside from touring the grounds, all of you converge on the drawing room. And as you enter, and you have this Diana person you've just met in tow with you, Dusty, you look around and you see a few other figures. Of course, William has shown Daisy back into the room, and there is a tall, suited man with a red beard and red hair with some gray at the temples, as well as a very elegant woman lounging on a chaise with dark black hair and a nice pantsuit on. Well, does anyone at all know what we are doing here?
Seems we're all here at the whim of Professor Connolly.
Don't complain. It's a nice house. I got my own room. It's pretty cool.
Oh, Herbie, you should have seen the library. I only got a glance at it, but it is full of contraptions and gears and all sorts of things besides the books.
Does it have one of these?
It has one of those.
We got to get in there later.
But I'm really excited to see Mr. Connolly. We haven't seen him in quite some time. For many years, actually.
He's a really good teacher. I learned a couple things from him, which is saying something.
Yes, many years, and now still more time passes, says the woman who's elegantly dressed, and people are getting restless. Where is this professor? Then the groundskeeper speaks up and says, okay, all right. He invited you here, and you would think he'd be getting ready and preparing and perhaps, putting on preparing his spiel. He was so excited to show you his inventions. I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him all day. Not since breakfast.
Dr. Connolly's missing?
It seems that way, miss. Now, I'm so sorry to ask you all this, but perhaps you could help me find him? I was kind of hoping that he'd appear by this time and it wouldn't be awkward, as it very certainly is right now. This very big man with broad shoulders kind of looks like he doesn't really fit into the clothes he's wearing. He's wearing a small vest and a white button shirt underneath that looks like it's buttoned so tight around his thick neck that the buttons are bursting at the seams almost. And he looks sheepishly around at each of you, kind of looking out of place. And
Do you need a hug?
He looks briefly around at the other guests, and then he comes to you and embraces you in a hug.
We'll find your friend. He's our friend too.
All right, then. That's right. I've worked with this estate for many years, and I just don't know. He's not in any of his usual haunts. I checked the stables. I checked the woods. I've checked every room of the house several times over after I realized that guests were arriving and he wasn't here.
At this point, Dusty's like pulled out a small notepad and like pen from their back pocket and is like started taking some notes. They kind of tap the pen to their mouth and kind of go, "You say you haven't seen him since this morning. Did he show up for breakfast?"
That's right. Well, technically I brought him breakfast in the library and then I went off and had a nip myself.
So you did see him and he saw you, you greeted each other. What was his state of mind? Like how did he seem when you spoke with him?
Excited, I'd say. Ecstatic, really. He couldn't wait to tell his friends about his greatest scientific discovery. I imagine that I saw some of the other telegrams. I imagine he said something to that effect to each of you.
Yes. But I do have a question. Is his car in the carport?
Let's see. Well, yeah, of course. His car's there right next to my truck. He doesn't drive it much.
Car.
That's a great point.
He could have flown.
Everyone looks up when you say that.
Did you see what it was he was working on at the time? Was he working on anything?
He was working on something. Well, you may as well look. I know, Miss Daisy, you were excited to see inside his workshop earlier. I wanted to sort of see if he would arrive after all the guests were in one place. And then the older man speaks up. "I do say, my dear sir, this is preposterous. We've been brought here, taken away from our work and our homes, for some mysterious goose chase and the creation of some sort of escapade." And he just starts ranting as William gestures that everyone follow him. And he brings you into the library, where, of course, Daisy has seen what's in here before, into the makeshift workshop littered with all kinds of gizmos and gadgets.
Look at this. Let's do it. We could build so many airships, Daisy.
Careful, Herbie. There might be some sort of clue or evidence to the whereabouts of Mr. Connolly. Everybody look around and see if you can find... Wait, that's right. Dusty, do you have a magnifying glass?
Probably.
Figured you do.
Sure.
I'm gonna have to go back up to my room, though. I left my stuff upstairs. I wasn't exactly anticipating having to do an investigation when I walked in the door, but I'll see what I brought with me.
But I'm excited.
I wasn't anticipating having to build an airship to find our old friend, but here we are.
Herbie, I think it'll take you quite some time before you can finish that airship, but for now, let's work with what we've got.
I'll be right back. And they kind of like take the staircase like 2 or 3 steps at a time up to their suitcase to kind of like pull out their forensic kit and bring it back down. While they're up there, though, they also make sure that their gun is loaded, and kind of tuck it into its holster, and then come back down as well.
Awesome. So. And just, Aki, for your benefit, let's take a moment and provide you that weapon on your character sheet. Let's give you a .38 revolver, if that works for you.
That works just fine.
Okay, we'll say it's a, not sure if this is exactly what's in the book, but a 1d8 plus your damage bonus, which is probably 0 based on...
It is indeed 0. No, stop.
Oh, you know what? A damage bonus for a
1d8.
weapon is probably not the case. Damage bonus is basically like if you are physically larger and you do, punching damage to someone, then you'll do your regular unarmed 1d3. But if your damage bonus is much bulkier person, your physical build is larger than the opponent, then you would deal 1 additional damage.
Cool.
Oh yeah, did we calculate my damage bonus, or can I get mine?
Your damage bonus, I believe that you should have a +1. Your damage bonus is a 1d4, and your build is 1.
Cool.
So,
And do it.
all right, where were we? You're running up to find your kit upstairs. As you do so, Dusty, you reach the 3rd floor, and the long hallway that has rooms jutting off from all directions at the landing at the top of the stairs. You hear something as you start walking towards your blue bedroom. You hear a creaking behind you, as if someone's there. As you turn around, there's nothing and no one. Then you hear in the bedroom beside yours, which you noticed had no occupant earlier, you hear a deep belly laugh. Oh, Elizabeth, no, I don't think that's proper.
Yeah. Dusty kind of cranes their neck a little bit to see if they can hear more, but they don't necessarily stop to try and, how do I explain this? They are not making an attempt to approach the door because they don't want to necessarily be heard. They're still kind of walking towards their own room, but they are craning their head to kind of see if they can't get hear more.
Sure. As you continue to listen, go ahead and give me a listen roll.
Listen. Am I good at listening?
Looks like you just have the basic 20%.
I do. But I mean, gosh, it's so close. I rolled a 24. Gosh.
You're
So
welcome to
close.
spend 4 luck points.
Why not? I mean, smoke them while you got them, right?
Smoke them while you got it. And 60 luck is pretty good to begin with. All right, so you can permanently go down in luck in order to make your roll succeed. But now, should you need luck later, you may have run out of luck. You hear him say, Elizabeth, please, you're making me uncomfortable. I don't think we should do your meditation again. It felt as if, this sounds so bizarre, but as if my soul were being grasped by something beyond my control. Please, don't be ridiculous. And as you continue to lean, it sounds as though you're not moving, and you don't hear the floorboards creaking, but it's as if their voices are getting smaller and smaller, as if they're moving away, but sort of just dissipating into the air. And you hear the voices float out of the open door of this bedroom and out into the hallway, past you, and then disappear in the hallway.
What in the hell?
Could you please give me a roll for sanity?
Of course. Oh boy. 27. Which, yeah.
You succeed, and though this is strange, it doesn't seem out of the realm of the possible, and you head back downstairs to join the group.
Got it. they open their kit and they pull out the magnifying glass, and they kind of do a little like twirl of it with their hands so that they can kind of handle first to Daisy. Here you go.
Oh, thank you so much. Now, I have a bit of flour here. I think I look closely here. We could see that he was just recently working in here in this morning, just as he said. But nothing seems to be warm. I went around and I touched a few things, and they're all pretty cold. It's been a while since he's been here.
You mean you're not feeling his aura?
Now, though I may entertain the idea of auras, I can't say I've quite felt them.
You're welcome to roll to see if you do.
I could try.
All right. Jessa, do you want to roll for occult?
Do I have a cult? Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
I got a 4.
Oh, wow. Please check your occult skill. This is the little box next to any skill, except for your basic characteristics on your investigator skills sheet. And this is a new mechanic. I know some of us are new players, so let me just quickly say how this mechanic works. If you roll very well, technically if it's a critical success, but I say 5 and below, I'm impressed, then you check that skill. And later, in between sessions, just as a sort of primer on Call of Cthulhu, you would do an investigator development phase, which means you're going to get an opportunity to maybe add a few points to that skill in between sessions by rolling above your skill level. And then if you do succeed in rolling, the opposite of what you want to do, you want to try and fail the roll because that means you're able to improve upon the skill, and then you add a D10 to that skill permanently. Just FYI.
That's lovely.
Yeah. All right, so you do succeed as you're reaching out to see what sort of otherworldly beings may inhabit this library. But before you do, let's take a moment and let me describe sort of what you're seeing in this scene. So you already know you found the library well stocked with books in the high ceiling, and this jumble of machinery in the center of the room has machine shop equipment. You couldn't see what was hidden behind the door itself, but it has these large machines and seemingly random electrical parts and devices that has been converted into this sort of workshop. And on the work table itself, with mechanical parts and papers, there seems to be very central to the working area a backpack with cables attached to a helmet. There's odd-looking boots and gloves attached with cables as well to these boots and gloves and helmet, and the belt attaching them to a separate pair of gloves and boots. And as Daisy closes her eyes and puts out her hands and feels, searching for any sort of aura or warmth or perhaps some sort of portal to the other, she hones in on this one work table with the backpack and feels her eyes close, and she sees what looks like a sort of kaleidoscope image. Purples and pinks and blues swirl in your eyes, and flashes of a hound made of triangles and fractal shapes and harsh angles. And then it flashes to snow, and it flashes to the woods that you drove past, but it's now night. You sense that some sort of otherworldly being has been in this area.
I'm getting something strange. I saw the forest where we drove through. I saw snow. And I believe that right there. Do you see that contraption? Herbie? Dusty?
Yeah.
It's backpack
cool.
with wires with the helmet. I feel like that has something to do with the disappearance of Dr. Connolly. I was seeing things not seeming of this world, but of this world. Does that make sense?
Might as well. Physics is different. I don't understand it. Could be from aliens.
You don't say. And the tall, dark-haired woman comes up behind you and sort of right up next to you, Herbie, sort of butts up against you and stands right next to you and sort of bumps her hip into you and says, "Have you ever heard something like that before? Incredible. The doctor, well, he and I were well acquainted once, you understand. Claire Whitley, professor, University of Chicago."
Excellent. Herbie Sherbert. Pilot to be.
What a name.
Thank you.
Then you must know much of mechanics. What can you make of all this?
Oh, well, Miss Daisy here had just done some incredible work looking around. The good mixed Dusty is actually an investigator. You see, I'm just trying not to touch anything so far, but
except as far as I know, you're the only one who could probably make heads or tails of what any of this does. Don't count yourself out.
Well, if there's something you'd like to touch, you just need to ask. She says flirtatiously as she walks away to go look at some other table.
Okay.
Don't trouble yourself overly much about. Anyways, but seriously, you shouldn't count yourself out. You do have something to contribute here.
Yeah. Well, Herbie would like to mechanically look around the room, kind of going like this, trying not to ruin anything, because he does tend to ruin things, but he doesn't really want to make. Daisy's done a lot of good work for him, so he doesn't want to ruin clues like she was saying. But is that like a mechanical repair or a spot hidden check or something like that?
Sure. If you want to look specifically at the main workbench and the backpack and the cables, you're welcome to do a mechanical repair or an electrical repair roll.
Yeah, I'll do a mechanical repair roll. I'm going to look at the cool backpack because, gosh, do I ever want to know what happens when you put that on. I bet you can fly.
I could show you some way more fun ways to fly.
Go on.
That is intriguing in ways I cannot describe.
It's called
Becca,
a chemistry.
am I ever so excited to tell you that I got an 87, which I think is just like the worst thing I could have done.
You pick up the backpack, and as you do, just some gears sort of fall off the desk that had been under it and fall to the ground. Oops. And some more things. You're just dropping everything, and you have no idea what this thing is.
I do believe.
Well, I mean, there was an attempt made, and I think that's what counts here more than anything. Perhaps we put that down now, and see if we can't solve this from a different angle.
I'm gonna get snacks for the grumpy people in the other room.
I perhaps could help you with that. And William, who had been lurking in the doorway, he shows you to the kitchen to help you put together some snacks.
I like William.
So I'd like to pull out the rest of my forensics kit and start like maybe seeing if I can't determine like who else has possibly touched these items. See if I can get a bead on like maybe any like specific chemical reactions that might have taken place in this room. See if I can find any like traces of substances.
Excellent.
I can help
you most definitely can make let's see. I want you to make that forensics roll. And I think that that's just a part of your training. So as long as you're careful in taking out your powder and dusting for prints, let's give it a dexterity roll.
All right, so I'm going to do the forensics roll first, yes?
Yeah, and then we'll roll for chemistry.
Okay. So I rolled a 70 on the forensics roll, unfortunately, but I'll do the dexterity roll too. So, and that was a 60. So.
Okay. So you don't notice any substances per se. Everything looks to be pretty nothing like liquid or volatile or chemical seems to be sitting around in this part of the library. But as you take out your dusting kit and you dust for prints on the hard helmet, metal helmet attached by cables to this backpack and these boots and these gloves, you start dusting for prints. You transfer them to a sheet of paper. And as you're doing this, you notice it seems to be 3 separate prints. And as you, if you would like, we'll leave it there based on your roll.
Okay.
But there are other items. There's a desk piled with papers. What would Daisy like to look at?
I'd like to look at the larger machinery to see if there is an on button.
Big
On
red button.
the big machinery?
Yes, that's tied to the backpack and the helmet.
Sure. Oh, nothing's attached to the backpack. It's the backpack attached with cables to the helmet and boots and gloves. So you're welcome to take a closer look at that and look around as you pick it up and you inspect the items. There doesn't seem to be any on switch, but as you give me a roll for either physics or electrical repair.
Let's do physics.
Or you could do one roll for both, and we'll see if it meets the threshold for one and not the other. Then you'll learn just things about the one topic.
A 12.
That's pretty awesome. Okay, and is that meets both? Yes, you're pretty good at physics, and how are you? Mechanical or electrical repair? Just standard. Okay.
That's the standard.
Would you like to spend 2 luck to make it a success for electrical and mechanical repair?
Let's push it.
You're going to lose the 12.
I got 12 again.
Oh.
That's weird.
I would recommend in this situation, just based on statistics of you're not likely to roll that. I would just spend 2 luck if I were you. But you're welcome to push it.
Okay, let's spend 2 luck.
Okay. So as you spend 2 luck and you take a closer look into the backpack, the wires, from your ability to sort of put machinery together and be able to take things apart a little bit and put them back together, which maybe is not a thing you've done before, but you just sort of inherently know. Perhaps the spirits in this room are speaking to you. You sense that this is a battery in the backpack, and it is powering something to do with the helmet. And your physics knowledge tells you that part of this device is protecting the wearer from a powerful electromagnetic field that seems to be generated by the items in the backpack. You can sense the magnetism within them. That seems very, very powerful.
I relay this information to Dusty.
Yes. Unless Dusty wants to do anything else at the moment, let's pop over to Herbie in the kitchen with William. And he's getting out cheese and he's making sandwiches for everyone. Cheese and I don't know, what else do you think should maybe go in these?
You'll notice that there are some cold cuts that have been placed in the kitchen.
Yeah. People love meats. People love meats, William. You know? You like meats?
I love meats.
Yeah, you do.
I'm a freak for meats.
I'm so glad to hear that. Hey, how are you doing? How are you feeling today?
Nothing can bother me, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Except of course that my employer, well, he seems to be missing, is all.
Yeah.
And that is particularly difficult. Give me a psychology roll.
I would love to give you a psychology roll. Maybe I'll do a good job.
You don't have any innate skill in this field, but who knows?
Got a 94. Can I push it?
You can absolutely push it, but just know if you fail again, you will anger him in some way.
Okay, well, I'm not going to push it because the chance of me succeeding is extremely low.
Okay. You're welcome. Just continue to ask him questions if you like. And
Yeah.
he says, I've been working here for a long time. You know, my quarters are obviously here on the first floor, and the boss, he's so dedicated to his work that, well, I wonder if his guests know anything about it. Has he told you anything?
No, I mean, I haven't seen him in a long time. I used to help him fix mechanical stuff back when he was doing mostly book things. He seems to be more deep in mechanical stuff now, which is cool. Cool vibe.
Here's the thing. And he steps closer to you, and you almost feel as if he's trying to intimidate you a little bit. But then he takes his shirt off. No, just kidding. Your eyebrows made him want to do that. No, but I really need to know. I have a feeling he was writing letters to somebody, something secretive, something he wasn't telling other people about. I think he wrote a letter to somebody here, and I want to know who it is.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to find out too. Can I ask you a personal question? One big guy to another?
One big guy to another. Ask away. Is it about my routine?
Yeah. What have you been doing? Because it feels like you've got gains recently. I just asked because I went through a phase where my clothes didn't quite fit either. You know? I don't want to.
Well, what can I say? The boss has been feeding me well. We said I love meats. Oh, doesn't seem like the shirt fits, is what you're saying, huh?
Listen, I've been there.
Look, the clothes just they'd fall off of me. What can I say?
It's not a problem for me.
As you stand closer, we come back to the library.
I think Dusty is like listening to Daisy as she sort of like describes what she's discovering, but they have like moved over to the desk and are starting to like rifle through the papers to kind of see if they can't get a handle on what it is that the professor might have been working on.
Great. Me, library use roll.
Something I'm marginally good at. Let's see.
We both roll for that.
Sure.
Oh man, it's a 47. I think I'm gonna push the roll instead of spending luck. We'll see if we do better.
If you push the roll and fail.
We do better. We roll a 26.
Sure, you start more furiously shuffling through the papers, and as you do, some of them fly off the desk in a haphazard manner, but you reach schematics that look particularly interesting to you. And as you call over Daisy, you see an image that shows the helmets and cables attached to gloves. It has a figure standing in them, and it has on one of the gloves, there seems to be a box, a rather large box on the right glove that has all the wires seem to be plugging into this box as well. But as you look up, you don't see that on the glove. And as you look at the schematics in very small text, neatly written handwriting, it says code box.
Huh.
As you continue to sift through the notes along with Daisy, how'd you do on your roll?
Oh, 22.
Oh, amazing.
I know, I'm rolling amazing tonight.
Yeah, okay.
Feel free to share that power.
Take my energy. Just take it.
Spread your energy throughout the house, and Herbie in the next room feels a jolt of positive energy just float into them that pushes them a little closer into the handsome William. Okay, as the two Daisy and Dusty sift through the notes, you find like a neatly written hand, but just sort of eccentric notes that aren't super specific to give clues to this device's nature, but they say things like the modifications have enabled an oscillating frequency to compensate for temporal shift. And Daisy, you see the gravity dampener maintains the core polarity 99.9993%. And other notes say temporal plasma conduit running hot, need to recalibrate the matter stream. And a small note over on the other table says the time matter field capacitors are reducing the quantum degradation to almost 0.3%. Just all sorts of nonsense that really means very little to all of you.
Well, I do understand a bit of it.
Really?
I'm ready to come back with sandwiches.
Yeah. William looks down at the plate and says, "Do you think the people are hungering?" Looks deep into your eyes.
Yeah. It's always, you don't want a hangry party.
No,
I always love a good
especially
egg sandwich.
if they're going to find the professor, we've got to get them these sandwiches.
Yeah.
And he takes the plate and leads you back into the library. Also searching with you are the other scientists that you've met so far. There is the physics professor, Diana Carlson, that Dusty met upstairs. There's Dr. Seamus Quinn, who's just sort of been watching everyone. He took out a pipe and filled it and started puffing on it and
definitely know the types, lets everybody else do all the group work and then takes the credit at the very end. No,
tell me what you found.
Work with them all the time on the force.
Yes, and of course the sharply dressed, tall, lanky woman who introduced herself as Claire Whitley.
I definitely think we should let Herbie take a look at these schematics, but it's the box that's really... Oh, you're back.
When I come back in, I want to pull Dusty aside for a private convo. Is that possible in this library, or is it there are too many detectives in here?
Echoey, but the books sort of fill the space. And you're welcome. It's a very large room. You're welcome to pull Dusty to a corner.
Okay, yes.
What's wrong?
Dusty.
Yeah.
William says there may be some secret correspondence. That's a big word.
That was a big word. Gold star.
Thank you.
Is that the first time you've ever said that word?
I did. I think I did a good job.
You did. You pronounced it correctly and everything.
Thank you. William thinks the doctor was writing letters to somebody here. Do you know how we'd find that out?
I mean, there are quite a few people in here, so I'm not...
You want me to ask?
I mean...
Hey, so is that...
I mean, the worst you can find out is nothing, I guess.
Okay.
If the doctor was having private correspondence with people, it might have been for a good reason. You know how he could be. The things he liked to tell people, he really liked to tell people. But if he had a secret, good luck getting it out of him.
Just thought maybe you'd have like a, when you do this on the paper and then it shows the letter or something.
Right. I mean, sometimes the best way to find out if somebody isn't telling you the truth is, look them in the eye. See how well you know them.
I would like the two of you to perform a psychology roll on one another.
Sure. Sounds good. This will go well.
Ooh.
Oof. Oof.
And
this is an opposed check, yeah? Oh, I got a 74.
What about Herbie?
Who's smart now? I got a 14.
Yeah.
But that's actually technically the same level of success. Given that Dusty's psychology score, neither of you succeeded, technically.
Can I
had one of you succeeded and one of you had a hard success, then that'd be a higher level of success.
Can I use luck?
Sure.
On an opposed check? Heck yeah, I'm going to use luck to succeed, to bring it down to 10.
Seems
Cool.
like Dusty may or may not have been receiving some correspondence. You kind of get the feeling you're not sure.
Oh, I see. I'm just going to go.
Dusty is just kind of gives you an eyebrow, and then we found schematics.
Oh, I love a schematic. Show me.
And I point them over towards the desk where Daisy is probably still looking over them. But there seems to be a missing piece, and that's the part that's doing my head in a bit.
Okay. Becca, is there anything in this room that hasn't been examined yet? Or that
Let's see. As you look around the room, there's many things in here, but it seems as though everyone is gathered around the desk and these pages of his notes.
Okay. Can I?
You're welcome to
take
do
a
a
look
spot
at them?
hidden roll. Yeah.
I would love to do a spot hidden roll. I'm going to put my hands on my head again, try not to hurt anything. Spin around real fast. Try not to get dizzy. Oh my God. If I was trying to roll high, I'd be so good at this game. I got a 99.
Goodness gracious.
Maybe that's a 6. No, that's a 9. I'm going to push it. Is that okay?
It's
a bad idea.
What is your skill in spot hidden? Is it above or below
45.
50? Okay, so technically a 44 is a 99 is a critical failure. Anything, if you're below 50%, a 95 to a 100 is a critical failure. So I'm afraid that
I'm so bad at this game. Herbie is just cursed. He just he saw something in space and he is not coming back from it.
You bump into the large machine made out of metal that had been partially obscured by the door before, and you bump into it, you turn it on, and a loud revving sound as this seems to be a generator. It seems to be creating power. And the lights are getting, the sun is getting lower and lower in the sky through the windows. And William comes in and says, I apologize to all of you guests. We do not have working electricity in the house. Of course, there's candles in the kitchen that you're welcome to bring up to your rooms, but the lights, well, there are none. So I know, I was surprised at first too. There is one more thing that Daisy noticed while examining these notes and the items. When you look at the device, you notice a number of strange symbols worked into this design as you call upon the other worldly forces of the occult. It reveals to you, something whispers in your head based on your previous role, that these are the Greek and Latin symbols for time and space.
Strange. I recognize these symbols.
You do?
Yes. They're the Greek and Latin symbols for time and space. It's very peculiar. This is all coming back to me. I remember a time back at university with Dr. Connolly, and I did a paper on parallel universes. And a lot of this research and schematics seems to be in correlation of what I wrote. I feel like Dr. Connolly might be somewhere not on this plane. Nasty, I know it sounds funny, but it's really not. It's dangerous. I have a science kit in my bag. I think, would it be all right if I did a little bit of a physics test? I want to see if there is any residual left over in this room. If Dr. Connolly has indeed left this plane of existence.
Yeah, you're welcome to
Yeah.
set up your tests and perform your experiments. I definitely want to know Dusty's reaction, but what was Herbie just doing?
I was trying to think about planes. There's
I love him.
planes.
He's so precious.
So there's the plane of the ground and the sky. Is that what happened?
And
Oh,
there's
not
the
that kind of
airplanes.
plane, Herbie. The plane as in realm.
There's
Realm that we live in. You
Plane.
see, I believe reality to be, malleable. I think there's, different realities and even parallel realities where you might be you, but just a little bit different. Or I might be me, but just a little bit different. And there's many of them. There are mirror realities and also, just many, many different ways we all could be.
What is Dusty's reaction to all of this?
I think after that laugh, like and this notion that there might possibly be, that he might have possibly like jumped to a different plane. Like they've watched Herbie try and fail to find this box, and they're just sort of like, okay, I'm gonna look for like the scientific, solution to this, like the real scientific solution to this. And I guess they're gonna do their own search for the box as well. So.
All right. Feel free to give me a spot hidden or a hard physics roll. Up to you, because
Yeah, I'll do the spot hidden. I have
Sure.
better. 38, which is just barely above my like bigger success threshold.
almost a hard success. Okay.
Yeah.
So you pick up the gloves from the desk beside the helmet, attached to them with cables, and you can move them around in your hands. Do you want to slip them on, or do
Sure,
you just
why
hold
not?
them?
I'll put them on.
Yeah, as you do, you feel a sort of electrical impulse, like a slight shock. Nothing supernatural, but a little bit of just a physical jolt. They seem to have a sort of like a charge to them. And as you turn your hand, you definitely see that whatever sort of box was in the schematic on the right arm is missing. And there's a very clear place with 3 wires sticking out that you can now see. They seem pretty easy to, like, they're very clearly plugs if you were to able to find some sort of box. But as you look around with this knowledge in mind, and you can look inside the desk drawers, you search the desk, you search the other work tables, nothing that seems like it would fit is around. Just then, you hear a high-pitched scream upstairs. You look around and you see all the people that you've met thus far in the library with you. I see Herbie running.
I can help.
All right, it sounds like it's coming from the 2nd floor. Does anyone else go?
I have the gun. I'll back Herbie up. They slip the gloves off and they head off in the direction after Herbie, because Herbie is throwing himself headlong into a situation he does not know what's about to happen, and so yeah, I'm going to go and back him up.
Correct.
All
I
right.
follow along, far behind. Screams scare me.
Sure.
Maybe you should stay here, Daisy.
No, it's okay. I think somebody's in trouble, and I don't want to not be there to help.
There
All
is a circular staircase that you've gone up before to get all the way to the 3rd floor. You remember seeing the 2nd floor landing, and as you race up the stairs, Herbie first, and then Dusty, and then Daisy, you, as you get upstairs, you hear coming from the master bedroom, you hear screams, "Oh, please, I don't, oh no!" And as you throw open the doors, Herbie, to the master bedroom, you see Daisy, but a disheveled Daisy who looks scared.
Daisy, what's wrong?
What?
I don't know.
Something's wrong.
As Dusty, you come up the stairs as well, and the other Daisy, the Daisy we've been with all along, comes up the stairs third. All three of you can see the wide flung open doors to the master bedroom as the other Daisy stands there and says, "Oh my, what?" And out of the master bath, you see two other figures. And as they turn, you see yourselves as well, Herbie and Dusty. As all six of you stare at each other, you feel the house start to shake. And that is where we will take our break. We'll be back in exactly 10 minutes. If you're watching right now, it's 31 after the hour, so we'll be back 41 after the hour. I'll leave it vague for people in different time zones. Thanks so much to everybody watching at home. I see you. I appreciate you. And if you're watching on the YouTube later, well, hello to you as well. Skip ahead, or we'll see you in 10.
Oh my gosh.
We're back after our break, everyone. Thank you so much for staying tuned, and thank you for just joining the broadcast right now live on twitch.tv/Good Time Society. If you're watching in the future, oh wow, you have something in common with our investigators right now. But let me quickly recap. No, I'm not going to recap. I'm going to tell you what we are doing, which we are playing Call of Cthulhu, the role-playing game, and a scenario called The Code from Mansions to Madness. This incredible book. This scenario is specifically written by Christopher Locke, and I very much enjoyed reading it, and I'm loving running it for my guests this first time. And I want to tell you guys that Chaosium is the most awesome sponsor anyone could ever have. If you're interested in picking up any Call of Cthulhu products or for RuneQuest or 7th, you can find all of that at chaosium.com. And you can get 10% off at checkout if you want to use our super special code, which is Calyx 2021, because the show is called the Calyx. So that's how we got there. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump right into the action by bringing our guests back in here. We have Aki, Laser, and Jessa joining us this evening as the incredible Dusty Carmichael, Herbie Sherbert, and Daisy Delaney. Hello, hello.
It's short for herbicide. Just so.
Because you're killing plants?
I mean, stuff happens with different airs, different kinds of air when you
The vapors.
use it for dirigible purposes. You never know what's going to happen.
That makes sense. And of course, we are set in... We are in 1921 in upstate New York, outside of Hampton, New York, at Wellington Manor, where strange anomalies have been happening, where the missing professor and owner of this estate is nowhere to be found, but the three of you are standing on the second floor landing of this old house, looking into the master suite and seeing yourselves as the walls around you have begun to shake, and the house lets out a loud groan as the wood stretches and bends, and you have to hold on to the walls around you in order to not fall down. If you're standing, which each of you are, on the landing, there's not much to grab onto, so I'm going to need a dexterity roll from each of you.
Uh, 49.
Is that a
43. I succeeded. I just succeeded at a roll, everybody. I did.
Yay!
Everyone succeeded on their dexterity?
Wonderful, Herbie. Yes.
All right. You sort of, not that your characters would know this, but the players would know, it's that feeling of being on the subway as the ground's moving beneath you and you have nothing, you're not holding on to anything, but each of you stumbles around a bit and is able to keep your footing. And as the house stops shaking, almost as suddenly as it started, just a small earthquake, each of you whips your head around and looks to where your other had just been standing, a copy of yourself that looked like they had been through something, wearing the same clothes, but more disheveled. And they're gone.
What the hell was that?
Something fascinating for sure.
Why didn't anybody tell me I have stuff on my face?
I mean, you always have stuff on your face. You're a mechanic.
It's part of your charm, Herbie.
Thank you.
That's classic.
I mean, considering what we all do, it's surprised more of us don't have stuff on our faces.
That's a good point. You have a little blood.
Yeah, always. But
seriously, one of the other guests that was invited to this mansion runs up the stairs after you. The tall woman with dark hair, Claire. What is going on up here? Did you all feel that? Did you all see that?
Oh, so it wasn't just us.
What did you see, Claire?
I saw the three of you standing in that room right there. But it wasn't you.
You didn't see yourself, did you?
No.
Well, it seems if the four of us did see it, and not just one of us, I think it actually did occur.
Can I roll a psychology roll against her?
Sure.
That was a very odd pause. I rolled a 22.
Excellent.
She seems just as stunned as the three of you. She seems Like, she saw the three of you, and she saw the three of you again, and she is in shock.
Okay. But she doesn't seem to appear to have been lying about having seen herself.
Not that you can tell.
Cool. Right. Yes, definitely an interesting and disconcerting series of events. We did feel the house quake, and we did see ourselves. We do not know what is happening here, but I'm sure there is a perfectly reasonable explanation for what's happening.
Can I go look in the bathroom? Because that's where we came out of, right?
I'd also like to join on that.
Sure. As you go into the, it's much more well decorated and beautifully furnished than the other rooms of the house. This one seems to have been updated more recently. The covers on the bed are not as ragged as the rooms that you're staying in. And as you go into the bathroom, it looks as though someone's actually been living here, unlike the rest of the house, which seems a little not updated. But there are products. You see men's shaving tools. And nothing more in the bathroom. There's no one there.
Can I just kind of look around? Can I do a spot hidden in here, or is that?
Yeah, you're more than welcome to.
I wouldn't worry about
it. You notice nothing strange.
Okay, cool.
William told us that we could look around the entire manse and see if we find any information leading us to where the professor could be. But I tell you, given my studies in the occult and anthropology, there are many things in strange cultures that have not been explained by our rational physics and your sciences, which is perhaps why I invited me here, and I believe you as well. She turns to Daisy.
Oh, I agree. I believe that there are things that would be considered metaphysical that cannot be measured, or we yet have not developed the tools for it.
Yes,
How does a dirigible fly? How does an airplane fly? Why are bumblebees faster than flies? Why do some birds go higher in the sky, and why do they go away for different seasons? It's impossible to know.
Oh, Herbie, those are wonderful questions.
Are you a poet of some kind?
I like to think so.
Well, I don't know if our host will ever arrive, but perhaps this evening by candlelight you'd recite some more poetry, perhaps in the drawing room. No?
Herbie, I think she's quite fond of you.
Okay.
All right, then.
I feel... Can I speak with you for just a moment, Daisy?
Oh, of course, Dusty.
And I take Daisy aside. Look, I don't claim to believe in some of the stuff that you believe in, or even fully comprehend or understand it. But I experienced something up on the third floor when I went to go get my forensics kit. And it feels to me at this point that it doesn't do us any good to withhold information that could potentially help us solve the case. Trust me, I've been through enough investigations not having all of the details, and it's honestly driven me up the wall. I heard Elizabeth and David talking in their room, a room I know for a fact was unoccupied, about some kind of a meditation. And they came out of their room and continued to talk and walk away, but they were not there. I could hear their voices, but I could not see them.
Interesting. Very curious. It seems you had an experience in which you cannot measure and cannot quite logically or analytically explain through any method of science that you trust that happened. But you do trust your ears. I believe you.
Hey, do either of you want to touch Claire? Because she keeps wanting to touch me. She could touch you. Does that sound fun for you guys? Or
Miss Claire,
You know,
don't touch without consent.
Pardon me. Perhaps I'll just go explore the grounds and see if I can find any trace of him setting off on foot. And you hear her march down the stairs haughtily and slam the front door.
Herbie, you seem to have like a strange magnetism that people feel drawn to. Have you ever noticed that about yourself? Because I noticed it with William too. He definitely seemed pretty drawn to you as well.
It's just who I don't know. People like my dog. People like to pet my dog.
Oh, of course, we forgot about Vanilla, who I imagine has just been following in tow this whole time.
I think he's outside. I think he's just wandering.
Sure.
But he can be wherever you want him to be.
No, he can be wherever you want him to be.
I figured I'd go outside to call him and ask him what he's
Yeah,
been up
well,
to.
as you are talking in the landing about the magnetism of Herbie Sherbert, you hear Vanilla howl, that basset hound jowly howl. And there's windows facing the front of the house where you just heard Claire storm outside.
Mm-hmm.
You hear the howl coming through those windows.
Vanilla
Is he
found.
all right?
As
Yeah,
you run
he-
to them and you peer outside, you see Vanilla just biting to the hem of Claire's skirt and just howling and then biting again. And she's trying to fight him off and trying to slap at him and kick at him.
See how it feels, Claire? I'm gonna run outside. Vanilla, come here.
This horrible mutt, get him off of me. Them.
Vanilla, come here. What's going on?
Vanilla, of course, pads over to you and just.
Understood. I'll look suspiciously at Claire.
Well, perhaps you should tie a rope around this mutt of yours, so he doesn't attack any other guests. I've never seen anything like it.
Doesn't really like climbing.
Climbing?
Don't know why he would need a rope. Unless he's flying, I guess, in a ship or a balloon. I don't know if we have the right tools for that here. Although I did bring a little bit of hydrogen in my suitcase. It's a good idea, actually. I wonder if William has any sort of burners around.
Well, as you do that, I'm going to be investigating the grounds. And she storms off yet again. And all of you are welcome to let me know where you'd like to explore in the house, if you'd like to go find anyone that you've previously met, or if you'd like to go somewhere that you don't think people will be.
I'm down for the stables at some point, I think.
Sure. She actually marched off towards, it seems that she was walking in that direction and then veered right and started walking past the fire pit and just sort of taking a long circle around the house as she looks over her shoulder at you. What are Dusty and Daisy doing?
So I was thinking, maybe we also go and explore the grounds while it's still light out and see if we can find any clues or any reasoning as to why the entire manor was shaking.
Oh, you're muted.
Of course, that seems absolutely reasonable. That being said, I think that once we come back inside, I would like to see if we can't check out the room where I heard Elizabeth and David's voice.
I'm also very interested in that. We could do that first if you'd like.
I think your idea to make sure we've covered the grounds before we've lost the light is a good idea. Or if we have something in particular that we'd like to keep eyes on, we could always ask Herbie to look out for them while he's outside.
Good idea. Also, we should find William and see if we can find any lanterns. The power is out in the house still, and so when it gets dark, we're going to need some candles. I have some in my backpack.
That's very well prepared of you, Miss Daisy.
Do you want to join checking out the stables, or do you want to look around in the upstairs in the bedroom?
I think
We'll go outside first.
we'll go outside first, yes.
Okay, you step outside and you see Herbie there, and you're all heading towards the stables. And as you walk in, it is a little out of repair. I mean, it looks like there have not been horses here in a very long time. It does have 3 separate stalls that would have horses potentially, and then a workbench, which it has a wall full of tools behind it. Again, everything's pretty rusted. All of you are welcome to take a look around.
Yeah, me and Vanilla are gonna look around for sure.
Sure. You can look around. Do you want to look around? If you look in the horses' stables, then you can perhaps have a bonus die, which is a new mechanic I haven't told you about. The bonus die means you get to roll your tens digit twice and take the better one, and then add it to your ones digit.
Okay.
Because you've got that hound dog nose that they're specifically trained for knowing, smelling anything that they've smelled before. Oh, Dusty?
I'd also be interested in taking a look around.
Sure. If you want to split up, and maybe you can look at the, give me a spot hidden roll as well, both of you.
I got an 18, which is better than my half.
Awesome. A hard success.
Yeah, I rolled terribly, so I'm going to push the roll.
Okay, you're welcome to push it. As Herbie looks around, this former stable is quite decrepit. Not only is it in disrepair, but the walls are actually rotting, covered in mold. The roof has holes in it and is falling in certain places. There's some old farming equipment in the 3rd stall. And in the 2nd stall, there is an area of hay that seems freshly disturbed. And as Vanilla just starts, barks and then starts digging with her paws, and finds, moving the hay, that there is a suitcase sitting in the 2nd stall of the old stable that Herbie finds. What happened with your pushed roll, Dusty?
It's a hard success. I got a 32.
Amazing. All right. You start slamming drawers as Daisy is watching, as you each split up and sort of overseeing. And as you open these drawers and look around, you do find 2 oil lanterns that are full of oil, or you find the oil nearby to fill up these oil lanterns that and have some light.
Oh, this is perfect.
And it's just about sunset. It's very late dusk, and you're just losing the last bit of what sunlight was streaming in through the holes in the ceiling.
Be careful with that. If we make a wrong move, we could set the whole house on fire.
Oh, don't worry.
Yeah,
I'll light
yeah,
it far away from the barn.
It happens pretty often. I'd like to open the suitcase.
Sure. As you do, you find a woman's clothes. They are very fine, well-tailored clothes. You find 2 different birth certificates and 2 ID cards with different names on them. One of them says Elizabeth Rowland, and the other says Eve Pierce, but there are no photos on any of them. You also find a book, a leather-bound book, and the cover has ornate gold inlaid, the intricate designs of geometric shapes sitting inside one another. And as you flip through it, it looks like some sort of journal, but the text is almost indecipherable. I mean, certain words are English, but many of them are not, and they seem to be an account of, not like journal entries, there's not dates. It just seems to be an account of different, for lack of a better word, spells.
Cool.
What you got there?
I found a book.
What kind of a book?
I think it's a book.
Can I see it?
Hand it to Daisy. for reading.
It's generally what they're for.
And then pass off.
Could I?
Wasn't there somebody named Elizabeth?
Yes, Elizabeth and David, who we learned about at the store.
Elizabeth and David were the siblings, and Elizabeth had an older partner, I think.
I can't remember.
Roll for intelligence and maybe an idea will come to you. As Dusty, you come and look over Herbie's shoulder and you notice something else hidden separately from the suitcase in the other stall. It's another small book, this one with a linen cover, and it appears to be a journal.
Hot dog.
It says Dr. Kenneth Connolly just inside the cover.
That's our friend.
I found something as well, Daisy.
And Herbie, your friend.
Yes, Herbie. But I know your interest in book waxes and wanes.
Oh, yeah. No, that's fine.
What did you find, Dusty?
It appears to be the professor's journal, though I can't imagine why it would be down here unless it was taken.
Or he got tired. Could have got tired while he was looking at the sky, came in here, took a nap.
That's possible too.
I mean, valid, but if you're here, you can make it another 30 feet to the... never mind.
Dusty, turn to his most recent entry.
Of course, I shall do that. Open to the most recent entry by one.
The last entry that you see, this is going to be timeline A. Timeline A. Oh boy. And you see it dated March 29th. Today is the day I test the machine. I'm going to do something minor, moving 10 minutes into the future. I've noticed a few strange things, but it might just be lack of sleep. Mostly strong episodes of deja vu, but more disturbingly, shapes of people. I'm not sure if it's me or possible temporal feedback. We'll investigate further.
He was...
That's yesterday.
It was yesterday.
It seems that the machine...
No, that's not yesterday. Sorry, that was a few days ago. It was the day before he sent us the telegram.
Yes. I mean, it must have been successful. He was here this morning. I wonder if he didn't attempt the experiment again and push a little bit further this time.
Well, I'd definitely say it's successful. I mean, we did see our other selves. Perhaps our future selves.
Herbie, did you make that intelligence roll, or did I just say
Yes.
idea and not clarify? Okay, great.
19
Oh, is that an extreme success?
for intelligence? For Herbie?
Oh, it's definitely a hard success. Your
It's a hard
14 is your
success.
extreme.
Yeah, I'm not extreme. I mean, I could luck it. Is that fine?
As you reach back in your memory to try and parse out what Clem, the general store owner, had told you, it was that Elizabeth and David were brother and sister, and of course, you know Kenneth Connolly is your friend who owns the property.
Yeah.
To answer your question, and then the other idea that occurs to you is that the only way you know that he was seen this morning is through the testimony of William.
True. Based on the information that we have, I think we should talk to William again and find out what exactly happened to them.
I would love to talk to William again.
All right. Do you put everything back as you found it, or what do you take with you?
Let's take the journal.
For certain.
can-
I
Put the suitcase back? Feels
there
like
anything else
somebody
in it?
might need it.
just the clothes.
When
Letter-
you found the suitcase, Herbie, was it underneath the hay?
It was underneath the hay, and credit where credit's due, Vanilla found the suitcase.
Vanilla gives and like a paw against the nose, like. Stop.
And it also had this spell, this book with the weird words. Do you think that's going to be helpful to you, Daisy?
Yes,
I know
I'm
you
going to
know
take
a
it
lot
to
of
the
languages.
library and try to do some research and see if I can remember any of these symbols that I learned.
I hate to be.
The suitcase was hidden. I feel as if someone was trying to hide something.
I hate to be nosing around in a woman's things, but have we checked the pockets of any of the clothing items?
That's a great idea, Dusty.
You think the clothing has pockets, Dusty?
But
Bold of you to assume that.
Bold of you to assume that a woman's clothing has pockets.
I'll rifle through. Herbie loves to rifle.
As you rifle, and we'll just stick with your earlier spot hidden roll, which is very good. You don't find many pockets. These are well-tailored women's clothes, and they seem to be tailored for a slim female person, as far as you can tell, based on the style. And there is little in the pockets. Just a little bit of lint.
I will say, I think we should take the identification and show William that we know that these people were here.
Okay. That Elizabeth may not be who she says she is.
That's yes.
Okay.
The gist of it.
And just because I threw a lot of names at you, you have not yet met an Elizabeth.
No, but
We have heard about her.
Didn't
Dusty did hear her voice.
But I didn't see her. No idea what she looks like.
True. But you sure it was her? You heard their names exchanged.
Yes. Something about a meditation.
Can confirm.
Excellent. So you grab up everything except for the suitcase itself. You take the IDs, the spell book, the journal, and of course you found a couple lanterns there, oil lanterns. Do you head back in the house?
Yeah.
I'd like to make one pit stop. I remember there being a fire pit out back. I wanted to see if there was anything over there.
Roll for
Perhaps
spot
the
hidden.
remains of a recently burned fire.
Actually, you don't even have to roll. I'll tell you that because you have a lantern, and as you explore the grounds and you walk over to the fire pit, you find recently charred bits. If you already rolled, let me know what it was, though.
19.
Oh, that is very good. Okay, as you bend down and you pick up the fragments, you see fabric. You find pieces of fabric that seem to be clothing that have been burned, and only the charred remains are left. You see other items that you can't really discern. It seemed like someone was burning things here recently, that not just wood.
Is it possible for me? Vanilla. Yeah, is it possible for me with my forensic specialist to possibly kind of give this a look and see if I can't break down the components of the fire any more exactly?
You can find more specifically like the type of clothing, but it's really just fragments at this point. Most of it was burned and is just charred ash, and even given your forensic ability, there's not really more to learn about it.
All right. Thank you for the honest assessment.
Where's Claire?
Right.
Yeah, Claire came out here. Where did she go?
You, as you're standing sort of behind the house, you hear the front door slam again, and that signature, that light touch. And after hearing some feet pad up to the door from the gravel.
I believe that was Mrs. Claire. Miss or Mrs.?
I don't know that I noticed any wedding rings on any fingers. So,
not
life of a scientist.
Kind of all right.
You head back inside?
Yes.
All
nobody's knocking down your door, Daisy? Can't imagine why.
Oh. It's because I'm pretty asexual, but that's okay.
Well, been there. Know that.
As you're beginning to know one another more, and you head back inside. You see there seems to be a party not the party. The rest of the group is in. Yeah, they're partying. There's a phonograph playing.
Some
You don't need
martinis
electricity
have
for
been
that, right? Maybe you do. The doctor has pulled out a harmonica. The other professor.
Seamus.
Yeah, Seamus.
Seamus on the harms.
Seamus Quinn on the harms. And
Oh,
he's
now he
getting
decides to
down.
do something.
What?
We got a lot of judgment in our heart for Seamus Harms. He's not doing much.
Uh-oh. Yeah, he's really he very little progress is being made from those in the drawing room, which is currently Seamus Quinn, the doctor professor that stated he was a colleague of your friend, Mr. Connolly. There is the young teacher with the red hair and glasses, and it looks like Ms. Claire has re-entered that room. And William meets you in the landing of the first floor, or the foyer. No evidence of anything where my employer has gone?
Well, we found some really strange things out in the... Was it a barn? Or a horse
The
ranch?
stables.
Stables, thank you. And also some fabric remains at a fire pit out back. And a journal. Of none
Why were
other
you
than
looking? What?
Dr. Connolly.
You found a journal?
Yes.
May I have that? It's probably pretty private. I'd like to put it back into my boss's personal quarters.
I
yeah,
think
I
that
think we'll hold on to the journal. It has relayed some information that might lead to the whereabouts of Dr. Connolly.
I don't think so. And he tries to grab it out of your hands. I'm going to need you to give me a strength roll. Or perhaps if you'd like to dodge, you could do that as well.
I will do a strength roll.
Okay.
Fight the big boy.
I can,
Fight the big boy, Daisy.
Sorry, so loud.
yeah, if I can support in any way, I will do that.
If you try to grab as well and try to fight it away, then I'll let you roll with a bonus die because you're going to need to roll pretty well.
I rolled a
He is
41.
a strong man. Sorry, what was that?
41.
41. Is that a regular success?
Strength is 80, so...
Oh, would you like to spend one luck?
Yes.
Okay, spend one luck. And you rip it out of his hands. Well,
Listen,
okay, I didn't expect. Wow, you sure are strong.
A lot
You
of
do
people
realize
think
that-
I'm unassuming, but I actually study martial arts, so...
and I think it's safe to assume at this point, William, that we are borderline entering into what could become a larger investigation with a lot of people crawling around the house that you don't want here. Consider yourself fortunate that it's us, his friends, and the people who know him, as opposed to a bunch of strangers. We just want to help.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
What they said.
Take the journal. Fine. You're right. I'm sure that the professor wouldn't want the authorities crawling around this place. He was always a little uncomfortable about such things, especially given the sensitive nature of his work. You understand, you never know who could touch things and maybe break them or disturb them.
We don't want that either.
Frequently touch things, break them, and disturb them.
I do understand that. However, we are curious about something. Do you know of a David and an Elizabeth?
Yeah, they were here.
What happened to them?
Well, maybe you should step into my quarters. And he tries to. It seems that he doesn't want the people in the drawing room to overhear what you're saying.
Okay.
And he brings you into. You see like sort of the servants' quarters in the way it was built. There's a bedroom, and then off of that, attached, there is a door that opens between them to sort of a little living area. It's very simply furnished, but there's just a sitting room and a desk. And he shows you in there, and he closes the doors, both of them, one that leads to his bedroom, presumably. And he says, Elizabeth and her brother David left perhaps 2 weeks ago. You see, Elizabeth was the doctor's fiance. They had an awful fight. I overheard yelling. You understand? And I didn't get in the middle of it. It's not my place. Here, I keep the grounds. And because he doesn't have many people working here, I mean, honestly, it's just me. I make the food. I do it all, really. But no, they're gone.
Yes,
is all I'm trying to say.
And you're very valuable.
It's really odd that you say that because Mr. Clementine over down by the shop, a few miles away, had said that he saw them only a few days ago. So you said they left 2 weeks ago, and yet...
Give me a psychology roll.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe they live. They have they're staying somewhere nearby. I don't know. Maybe she's thinking of getting back together with him.
24.
And that's a hard success?
With psychology at 50.
Ooh. He's lying. You don't know about what, but he seems like he's trying to cover something up now. And then maybe they just...
Tonight. I don't believe you, Mr. William. I don't think they left at all. We've also come into new evidence of some personal belongings hiding in some hay in the stables. 2 women. We have their IDs here, as well as this strange book. So what are you not telling us?
Well, what's the ID say? I mean, maybe Elizabeth left it. You know how sometimes the guest wants to come back, they'll leave the coat. You know, I find that quite a bit.
Malarkey.
Oh, William, you don't know my friend Daisy very much. Well, but she does not say malarkey lightly.
Listen, if you're not going to trust the words that I say, you don't think I'm an honest man? Is that what you're telling me?
Now you're just getting defensive, and it's not a good look on you.
Oh, well, you know very well what's a good look on this.
It's a pretty good look on you, William, honestly, but that's not the point.
Rusty.
You could see him do that thing beneath his shirt and vest where he like flexes one pec and then the other.
Yeah.
Like a Chippendale.
Yeah.
We are trying to help you. Withholding information just slows us down.
You don't cooperate. I'll have Dusty detain you.
What I want to know is what the doctor was working on.
We
Which
wanna
of you
know
can
that
tell me
too.
that?
Why do you not know?
You were here. You're the groundskeeper. You should know. You're in the vicinity.
All I can say is that it seems like something is missing from his research, and I don't know who took it or why. That's
When did you last see him?
You said this morning.
Morning.
Really?
Really? And
Does
Daisy.
William seem to be sincere about this portion?
Daisy, you know, he didn't
Oh.
see him this morning.
Seems you've been lying quite a bit, and so I'm not sure if I trust anything you say. Dusty, Harvey, I think we should try to investigate more on our own. William doesn't seem to be telling us what we need to know.
As this is starting to kind of come around, based on the way William is reacting and stuff like that, in their prior correspondence with the professor, has the professor ever actually mentioned like a groundskeeper or like somebody attached to the house named William ever? Like, does this person actually seem to be somebody who belongs here and belongs to the house?
Roll for intelligence, just to see if you have that kind of like any, just to reach back in your mind and see if you remember any correspondence about.
Going everywhere. Holy crap! That's a good dang roll. That's a 19. That's so close to being like a super success, but we're not going to spend any luck for it. But it's a 19, so it's a hard success.
With this hard success idea roll, it occurs to you with exactly how secretive that you know Dr. Kenneth Connolly to be. The fact that he had come to this remote family estate in the woods to continue his very secretive research that you, Dusty, and only you know that he had secrets that he could only share with someone he trusted most in the world for their tight-lippedness, that he would never have any sort of employees here whatsoever. He trusted very few people, and he probably wouldn't trust anyone around his work.
Well, William, we do appreciate your help. We thank you for your assistance. And if we find out anything else that we feel is relevant and that you need to know in order to feel confident that your master's well-being is in hand, we will let you know. But we're going to continue our investigation now.
Certainly. Please let me know if there's any assistance I can provide to any of you. His manner is definitely more curt than it previously was, as he takes the candle and he goes towards the drawing room to attend to the other guests.
And as soon as he's out of earshot, out of sight, Dusty just turns to the other two and goes, "That man is full of shit.
We need to
does
search
not
his
work
room.
for the doctor."
He doesn't. I think we should look for his papers. We should look for his papers in his room. If this is where he's staying, maybe we can find something on him.
I'm on it. I go
Give me a spot hidden roll.
do it.
I assume you're checking out the adjoining room as well, the bedroom area.
I got a 28. I don't know if that's good for me. Yes, it is. It's not a hard success, but it is a success.
I got a hard success on a spot hidden with a 32.
I got a
Awesome.
2.
Oh, okay. Check your spot hidden. Well done.
I'm just gonna lie in the bed while everybody else does stuff.
No, you rolled really, really freaking well. You are not going to just lie on the bed.
Utilize it, Herbie. Utilize it.
It takes all of you to spread out and search the room. And this room seems to be remarkably clean, especially for a groundskeeper that supposedly, as you already have assumed, he doesn't actually work here full-time, but it seems this room has been cleaned thoroughly in the past few days. And as you keep going through his possession, you find a strange lack of personal items. The only objects in the entire room are a few outfits, a suitcase, a comb, which occurs to you is strange because his hair is very tightly buzzed, and a bottle of whiskey. There's no photos, no paintings, no knickknacks, nothing to show that someone's been living in this room for years. And with your 2 on the spot hidden, I'm going to say that you find identification. It doesn't have a photo either, but the name is Clint Davis.
We found something. This is the ID in the suitcase. And it is not William.
Dusty, give me a roll for education.
That is also going to be a hard success.
You know, Clint Davis is a notorious con man. All up and down the northeastern coast, he's been arrested and charged with cons and various just all kinds of like attempted heists gone wrong or a jewel thievery and has been in and out of prison. And you further know with that, what hard success you had?
Yes.
Now the name you heard earlier read by Herbie aloud in the other identification, Calyx. The name Eve Pierce rings a bell as well in connection with the other name. These two were both arrested for some sort of petty con. You can't remember the details, but you know that you've heard a case involving those two before.
Well, I'll be damned.
What did you find out, Dusty?
We got ourselves a confidence man and his partner, most likely.
Oh,
I'd bet dollars to donuts.
I love donuts.
Donuts are delicious. That Clint has a name aside from William as well.
interesting.
That's a
Well-
little bit harder to prove, considering that I heard that voice.
Well, seems maybe we should have detained him. I really don't want to deal with difficult people while we're trying to find our friend. Do you think we should restrain them for now?
I think it's best we don't let on just yet. He might reveal important information on his own. He's already expressed interest in getting information that obviously doesn't belong to him. I wonder if he doesn't know where the box is.
I suppose so. And he's probably looking for it. We'll need to find it first.
We should head up to the room.
Let's do that.
As you head up the stairs to the second floor, do you continue on to your room on the third floor? All of
Yeah,
your
we're gonna
rooms?
go to that room that I heard David and Elizabeth's voices coming from. That's where we're headed, to the third floor. Yeah.
All
While we're
right,
up
you're
there, I'm gonna get my tool belt and my cool wrench and a couple canisters of various things. Just my
yeah.
tool belt.
You definitely are able to go into your room, and there's a super awesome suiting up montage with extreme close-ups of your belts being put on and weapons being put into holsters with cool sound effects. As the three
They're
of you
all extremely cheap. Mine are.
yeah, but they're precious. They're covered up in well-worn, whatever that cloth tape is, but with fierceness. They get the job done. And as you go up, in order to get there, as you went up the first set of stairs and then the second set of stairs in the center, you notice stairs in a far corner, not in any of your bedrooms, as you're waiting for one another to sort of regroup before you go into the room where Dusty heard the sound. You notice stairs to what you can assume is the attic in a smaller, there's a pull down as well as a small spiral staircase in the corner.
Ha 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 ha.
We'll have
Don't
to
give
check
us
that
an
out
attic.
in just a second.
I'm gonna inflate a helium balloon and get ready to let it up into the attic. It's a little.
Our little canary.
Mm-hmm.
Then, just then, you hear a commotion coming out of the room where you originally heard the voices, where Dusty heard the voices, and you're standing outside that room suited up. The door opens, and in front of you, you see 3 figures. Tall. They are taller than the doorway itself. Their skin is green, if you can call it skin. It's a hard exoskeleton, and these figures are terrifying. They don't have recognizable human faces. They have these long, sort of shaped like a rhino, but more insectoid. You can see wings suppressed on their backs, and they have sets of arms beneath their where human arms would be. They stand about 7.5 feet tall, and each of them is holding a what seems to be electrified 3-foot pole. I believe we have an image, and I will put one in the chat as well.
Oh my!
Chris, what did you do?
They surprised, hard to discern any expression from these insectoid beings, but they stand on hind legs and they turn and look at each other, and amid some sort of high-pitched noise that you can't discern any sort of words from, as they take the one in front takes their prod and sticks it into, just pokes into whichever of you is closest, which we're not even going to roll for. I'm going to say whoever has the lowest luck score, which I believe is Herbie.
Oh, yeah.
At 50 is the lowest?
Yeah, especially at this point.
While this is all happening, could Daisy perhaps take a picture?
I'm sure as you suited up, you definitely grabbed your camera. And so we'll see if in a moment, because we're entering a combat, if you are able to take that picture successfully. Give me a roll for photography. As Herbie, you need to roll your dodge skill.
Happily.
I believe in you.
For you, anything. That is a 1. Oh, 10. I forgot how dice work when you get the 0. I got a 10. That's pretty good.
You mean like a 0, 0, 0 all the way across? Like, what did you get on the 10s die?
The 10s die, I got a 1. And this die, I got a 0.
Right, cool.
Okay, perfect. Yes, if you get all zeros, that's a 100. Okay, so you got a 10.
Yes, no, I didn't get all zeros.
As this thing, it seems sort of cocky in its ability to use this tool, this stun rod, based on the way it's thrusting it at you, and you see like a spark of electricity jolt up it. It turns to the others and sort of makes it, which somehow sounds like a weird laugh. And as it jabs the thing at you, you're able to duck Matrix style to the side quickly and dodge out of the way. And it seems surprised, steps backward into the room a bit. And now, as we're entering combat, each of you is going to get the opportunity to do something in terms of your dexterity. So we're going to start with Daisy.
Fantastic.
Were you successful?
I successfully took a picture before it tried to stab at Herbie.
All right.
With a 26 out of a 40.
You take a photograph, and as soon as you do, the next closest of these creatures is going to reach for the flashing device. And it doesn't, you're able to easily just step backward. The doorway is in its way, and it seems to be squabbling to its companions hurriedly. What does Dusty do?
Dusty's definitely going to draw the revolver and kind of throw themselves up against like kind of the side of the door, like kind of to make it a little bit more difficult for them to see them, like the creatures.
Take cover?
Yeah, they're essentially going to attempt to take cover as they draw the revolver.
Do you shoot?
Sure. Might as well.
All right, give me a roll for firearms. And
oh, this should go really, really well for me.
This will be a handgun.
Yep. I didn't actually give myself a skill for this.
I'll give you a bonus die because we didn't plan this gun in advance.
What is a 006? Is that 106? Because that's
a 6.
Holy
yeah, please
crap.
check your firearms handgun. We'll definitely allow you to improve that.
So
yeah, in fact, just go ahead and write 26 into your skill. We'll take that as your investigator development phase for now, since
nice.
You didn't originally plan on having that gun, but as you do, you go for the one that had most recently lunged towards your friend, and you deal a D8 of damage. Would you like to roll?
Let me dig out a D8.
Well, I got
have
you.
one. No, I got one.
Yeah, you should roll yours.
Yep. No, I shouldn't. I only rolled a 1, so. 1 damage. There I go.
This thing seems to have a very firm exoskeleton, and as you fire the pistol straight into its chest, its green, rocky exterior just there's a poof of a cloud as if you'd shot it straight into rock, and there is a dent, but you can see the bullet just bounced off, and it didn't completely make it through this exoskeleton. But it did seem to make the thing angry, and it turns, the one who hasn't moved yet, the third one, turns and takes its prod.
What the hell are these things?
And pokes you with this stun rod. And when it does,
oh gosh,
I need you to make a Constitution roll.
Okay, cool. An 80. I just rolled an 80.
You feel the jolt pulse through your body like you've stuck your finger in an electrical socket, and you fall to the ground, having fainted unconscious. As your friends turn to see what has happened to you, these three creatures move back into the bedroom. One of them, they touch the tips of their stun rods together and turn to each other and create some sort of incantation. They all make the same sound at the same time, and from the tips of their stun rod, which only Daisy and Herbie are seeing this point as Dusty is unconscious on the ground, a rift in the space above the bed opens up, a round circular opening, and it's tall enough for each of them to step through it and closes behind. And with that, we'll end for the evening as Dusty lies on this floor landing. Daisy has taken a photograph, and Herbie has dodged out of the way heroically.
Oh.
Holy moly, holy moly, holy moly.
Well, friends, we're going to do a quick talk back about the episode, but we're going to do that just for our lovely, lovely patrons. So you can find us on patreon.com/goodtimesociety. And shout out if anybody wants to join us on Discord. We don't put the talk back there, but you're welcome to join us for conversation on Discord, which you can find a link to down below, whether you're on YouTube or Twitch. Friends, just quickly, let's go one by one and tell everybody what you're up to this week. If there's anything you want to shout out or want them to check out, or just, to say hi one at a time and remind us who you are and your social media. Let's start with Jessa.
Hi, everybody. Once again, I'm Jessa Day, playing Daisy Delaney. And you can find me at twitch.tv/Jessa Day. Everything Jessa Day, Instagram, Twitter, it's all Jessa Day. This Saturday, I'm going to be part of a TTRPG that I've been a part of for almost a year now. Every last Saturday of the month, I play Aurora Bloom on Occultation, which is a spoopy TTRPG that we do on Void Cat Gaming. So check that out. We're going to do that noon on Saturday, and I look forward to seeing y'all next time.
Yeah, Aki.
Hi, everybody. I'm Aki, and you can find me over on Twitter at Mixed in a Bottle. That's MXGINI, and I am up to lots of things. You can find my full Twitch streaming schedule over on my personal Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ShidareAki. That's SHIDAREAKI. And the thing I'm up to soonest is this Saturday at 1:30 p.m. You can find me over on Critical Bard's channel playing Let's Get Wildmount, the D&D 5e game set in the Wildmount setting for Critical Role. And it's been a lot of fun. We had our first episode last week, second episode this week. Yeah, I'm enjoying myself. Really, really having a good time.
That's amazing. Thank you, Aki. I got to check that out. Love Critical Bard. Love you. And thank you for the sign language. Love that.
No
Shout out.
problem.
Laser.
This week, I'm on Twitch now, once a week, twitch.tv/DoubleClicks Live Mondays at 1. I have a show called House Haunters, where where my friend Josh and I will look at troubling Zillow listings to find
goodness
houses to haunt when we pass on. And
That's amazing.
you can also check out my podcast, You Should Write a Song About That, where my sister Aubrey and I, who are also the band The Double Clicks, talk about stuff. You should write a song about that. It's a podcast. Check us out.
You also have a bunch of awesome music videos and stuff if they just look up Double Clicks on YouTube, right?
Yeah, just Google us. We're great.
You are great. All three of you are great. Thank you so much for being great here tonight on the Calyx. Thanks to you all for watching at home. I appreciate you so much. I'm Becca Scott. And just since I have some people here live, let me shout out a couple things because I'm streaming the next 3 days on guest things. Chaosium, which shout out once again because Chaosium sponsors the stream. Use the code Calyx2021 to get 10% off your order. Also, they're doing their own stream, and I'm going to be a player in it tomorrow. So check that out. The deets are on my Twitter on Friday. We are having for GaryCon a sort of zero session for a new D&D campaign that I am so excited and proud to be a part of. It's called Black Dice Society. It's run by B. Dave Walters, and the cast is just too incredible. Please check out Twitter. Again, there's a poster. And Saturday, we run a game right here. We do a board game every Saturday, which Blazer, you've been on past episodes. Jessa, you have Aki. We got to get you on to play some virtual board games here on Saturday afternoon.
Yes, please.
Of course, you are busy this Saturday, as we all know. But if anybody wants to check out, we're going to be playing something called Legendary Kingdoms. It's it's like a choose your own adventure role-playing game. So I'm excited to find out what that means and what this is. It's going to be great. And that's it for us. Thanks so much to JP, who's the producer of the show and making all the magic happen behind the scenes. We'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.